It's Carnival weekend in Milan, and Serie A round 25 offers us a celebration of the best of Italian football. The country's two most successful clubs clash, Milan and Juventus, to claim first place and sway the season in their favour. I'm your match commentator, Paul Viscott. I'm joined this evening by Richard Whittle.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I think this is the defining moment of the season. I know there's a long way to go, of course, in the championship. Anything can happen. But tonight, if we get a victor, and I think we're going to get a victor tonight, it is a psychological blow for the other side. Both of these teams, it's difficult to say who's going to come out on top. There's a lot of changes which we'll go through very soon. But tonight, the San Siro's full. You say it's a carnival atmosphere, it's a real party, but it's serious business for these two teams.
Well, the presence and absence of former players has shaped the approach to this meeting throughout the week. The appeal to shorten Zlatan Ibrahimovic's suspension was thrown out on Thursday, and so Massimiliano Allegri knew that he was without the Swedish striker up front. But against Cesena last week and in Udine, Milan played a different kind of football, a flowing football. And again, it will be the same this evening with Robinho and Pato up front. But is also an ex-player, Nocerino, who could once again find his name on the score sheet, the second top scorer for Milan this season.
Well, you're absolutely right, and we're talking about Milan. No target man in Ibra, so plenty of movement from Pato and Robinho. But I'm also looking at the back and the defence. No Nesta, didn't make it. Mexes comes in, he's not 100%, we know that as well. Big night for Thiago Silva. We know that he just defends a whole back line. He covers for Abate, he covers for Antonini, and he may have to do it for Mexes tonight. So we'll go straight over looking at Juventus.
Former players once again. Andrea Pirlo last week at his magnificent best, scoring his first goal for the club. He then set up two second-half goals to defeat Catania. But there's also a surprise in the starting lineup. Another former Rossonero, Marco Borriello.
Exactly, I was sure that Matri and Vucinic would start, because Vucinic can pull something out of the ordinary. But also the lineup, Estigarribia also in on that left-hand side. Vucinic likes to play along there as well. Hence we have Quagliarella, who runs and runs and takes players on, and Borriello, a lot to prove against his ex-team. So anything can happen tonight. The changes are ready for both sides, and Mr. Conte throwing a surprise there for us.
And we have a minute's silence before the match. The minute's silence has been respected by the players and the refereeing team, and the players are now in position. This is the crunch match, the first game of the season between these two sides in Turin. Juventus came out on top, also in the Italian Cup. Here at the San Siro, Antonio Conte, he said 6 months ago his team having a build-up for a match this important would have been impossible. And Juventus start the match at the San Siro. Milan, Juventus, round 25 in Serie A. And we can see already that Juventus have started with their three at the back. Another thing Antonio Conte said, he said he can switch from a 4-3-3 to a 3-5-2 without any problems due to the hard work that they went through in the summer. And this 3-5-2 with Chiellini, Bonucci and Barzagli seems to favour the strengths of the three central defenders, allowing Lichtsteiner to push further up on the right-hand side.
But what we'll see is when Milan have the ball, Chiellini will go over to the left, Lichtsteiner will go into that right-back position, but just watch this shot early on. Coming in there, Quagliarella. Well, that's what Quagliarella will be asked to drive forward, won't he? And I think that Juve want to start this game as they did in the Italian Cup match at a high tempo and force Milan back, knock Milan off their stride. We've seen Milan always at their best. When they can start at a high tempo, get the early goal, then they're buzzing, full of confidence. I think Juve will want to nullify that early on, and they're doing that in these opening minute or so of the game anyway.
Abbiati, another former Juventus player, takes the goal kick, header won by Vidal, back from suspension. Sat out last week, was replaced by Giaccherini. Van Bommel thumps the ball forward for Robinho, a revitalised Robinho, and pressure on Buffon. Montari, he finds Vidal, here's Pirlo. It's the Garibia. The real surprise in the starting 11 for Juventus.
Garibia, he won't get as far forward as Pepe, won't be as dynamic as Pepe. He'll hold his position more, and that'll stop Abate getting forward as well, and Nocerino, who are both dangerous on the flanks.
Here's Steiner. Cross-in's a dangerous one. Abbiati punches it clear. It's going to break to Pirlo outside the box, being forced back. There's a poor touch by Pirlo. He's given the ball away to Robinho. Defends possession. Another crunching tackle in midfield, but Robinho wins it back.
And that's what we want to see from Robinho, from Milan on the ball, very sharp. But the challenge is flying in as we expected. Juve, when they lose the ball, win it back quickly, but excellent play by Robinho, and the rest of the team have to follow his lead, don't they?
And it was Borriello sliding in with the tackle. Robinho, Borriello, sliding tackles in the opening minutes, setting the tone.
Well, at this stage, Milan, they want a few touches on the ball now, just played around. Antonini not so comfortable on his left foot, as we know. Get the hoist the ball there. That's a poor play there by Antonini, and that's where he wants to be forced out wide. That's a Juve win possession back there. The back three will drop right off and pick up the ball all evening if they keep doing that. They want to play the ball to feet Milan.
Robinho. Emmanuelson, the ball's back to Robinho. The two linked perfectly last week against Chiesa. Offside. The referee's assistant was perfectly in line.
And was indeed excess, and Thiago Silva looked across quickly, and Thiago Silva came out. Maxes followed his lead, and as we see there, Borriello caught offside. Excellent play there by that the central defensive partnership.
Nocerino finds Abate. He'll run it, Garibia, and earns the corner.
And that's what Milan want, isn't it? They want Abate to get forward there, force Garibia onto the back foot. That's why I thought it was a bit of a surprise Pepe wasn't in there, because Pepe would push further forward and force Abate back, wouldn't he?
Pepe, though, he'd been out for 2 weeks, came back last weekend, late substitute, and perhaps again not at full fitness.
Yeah, that's also an element. You want your players 100% in a match like this.
Abate, plenty of time here for Milan. Perhaps too much time. Caught in two minds, Robinho.
Exactly, too much time. You're absolutely right, Paul. There, he just sauntered up to the ball instead of being dynamic, taking it to the byline, trying to force another corner, or bring the ball back, keep it moving quickly. Too slow there. We saw him earlier on. He was full of running and winning the ball back, but when he's in a dangerous position, he was too lax.
Steiner didn't start last week. It's the first match he missed from kickoff.
He wasn't too happy, was he, either? He went over and had a word with Mr. Conte at the end, and not a lot of people would do that. Of course, Antonio Conte made him run laps afterwards.
Here is Steiner. Stopped by Antonini. Early pass forward by Montari, looking to use the pace of Pato, who then turns and looks back to his teammates.
Again, what was Pato doing there? Head down, chase him down, show them you've got the pace, worry the defenders. You're not, what's the point looking back at the referee? I think at this stage we can see what players are really switched on, and at the moment it's the Juve players that are. Milan not to their game at the moment. They need to get their heads onto this game immediately.
Quagliarella lays the ball back. Steiner can't give it in play. The touch came off Nobody's quite sure. The referee's assistant has lowered his flag. He's not making the decision.
Well, Borriello he's saying that I want to knock the ball out because Quagliarella's injured. And it's Quagliarella there, who's doesn't look in great shape. He's walking away. He says he can play on, and be interesting to see which way the throw goes.
Antonio Conte asking Lichtsteiner to take the throw, and Lichtsteiner having a little word with the fourth official.
A little bit of confusion there, but possession should have gone back to Milan.
Van Bommel rolls the ball forward, lay off by Manuelsen. Nocerino. Now Robinho once again coming down his right hand side, cutting infield against Chiellini. Manuelsen rolls it back to Nocerino. Abate was free going forward down the right hand side. Now Milan trying the left, again Robinho jinking infield, lays the ball across. Manuelsen didn't strike the ball sweetly at all. Last week he did.
Yeah, that was better move, better play by Robinho, popping up on the right, then suddenly turns up on the left. He's onto his game now. That's good to see. For Milan, he will be the focal point, one feels, this evening. Pato at the moment hasn't got into the game. Manuelsen, a couple of nice little touches will do his confidence the world of good. You have to say Pirlo really dominates in the midfield at the moment.
As expected, no man marker on Andrea Pirlo, not Allegri's style. Also an interesting interview between Sacchi and Lippi in the Gazzetta dello Sport today. With Sacchi saying the whole team should work to mark Pirlo, and they should push up to within 30 metres from defence to attack. And as we can see now, that's more or less how Milan are playing.
Well, that's the Milan style anyway. They will push up en masse and really cram that midfield, and that's where Juventus in games have had plenty of confidence. We just see Juve clearing the ball here from inside their own penalty area, full of confidence, and they don't mind Pirlo with the ball back here. It's once he gets to the halfway line, he can look up and spread the ball as he does to the left this time, that he's a real danger, then collect it again.
And here's Manuelsen pushing in from behind on Pirlo, who dinks the ball forward into the box. Abbiati off his line.
Well, the Milan players are well aware of that little dink, as you call it there, Paul, little chip over the top. How many times have we seen him do that for Milan? And on this occasion, Maxes was back covering.
Nocerino. Van Bommel. Once again in at the heart of the midfield. Rested last week against Cesena, with the captain Ambrosini in, but he didn't last the hour. Injured. Cross in from Muntari. His debut last with a great cross. Nocerino trying to put the ball back across the face of the 6-yard box.
Wonderful ball from Muntari. Who would have thought Muntari would be playing in a match like this? He was out of the Inter squad completely, and suddenly he's reborn here at Milan. Scoring last week, of course, on his debut.
Demanding the ball in midfield and then feeding a decent ball through for Pato. Just out-muscled at the edge of the box.
Yeah, it's not really the ball that Pato wants. It's the ball played in behind where Pato can use his pace. That's where he's the real danger.
Lichtsteiner not having much support down the right-hand side for Juventus. Here's Quagliarella.
Well, that's what I mean. Juve not really a target man. Borriello drifting out. He's leaving Quagliarella in the middle, and you'd think that would be the other way around, really. But Borriello likes to come out to the right-hand side, then turn back in on his left foot and whip the ball in.
Abbiati juggling with the ball, taking his eye off it there.
Yeah, he's had his moments, hasn't he, when in matches where he's taking his eye off the ball. That was one of them.
His worst was the first time the two sides met in Turin in stoppage time, which sealed the result in Juventus' favour.
Just think at the moment, Milan playing very long, aren't they? There's a massive gap between the defences and pushing out, and the midfield's been bypassed, and the attackers are too far forward at the moment. They need to close things up. That's better. Muntari again getting in, winning the ball back.
Ball given away by Antonini. He'll have to use his pace against Lichtsteiner.
It's better play from Antonini, making up for that pass again. Poor distribution from Antonini, but he works hard to win the ball back.
Max Allegri said his only real doubt was whether to play the number 77 or Mesbah, the January arrival from Lecce. And Antonini got the nod, and Mesbah is not even on the bench.
Yeah, we've no word what the situation was there, unless he'd picked up a late injury in training yesterday or slight knock. But yeah, he's not on the bench. Yepes is on the bench, just back from a long-term injury from a foot operation.
And the full-back cover comes from Gianluca Zambrotta.
Certainly looking at the bench, that Juve bench a lot stronger there. Pepe and Del Piero, Vucinic, of course, Giaccherini, who we're talking about, who's been in excellent form, and Matri as well, their chief goal scorer.
Not forgetting Cáceres on his debut, scoring twice here in the Cup.
Exactly, so if Juve have to go to the bench, they'll be full of confidence. Milan less so, looking at their bench.
Robinho maintains possession, holding off the challenge of Vidal. Nocerino.
This is where Milan need the missing Ibrahimovic, isn't it? That movement, Ibra just is a massive target man for them.
Here's Robinho though, running straight at the Juventus defence, read by Bonucci.
Yeah, they're waiting for that ball to be played in, then the central defender Bonucci.
But he's caught in possession, overdoing it, Bonucci, and then that is one of his weaknesses, and Milan have got a corner. Bonucci.
Yeah, he wanted to carry the ball. He felt he could get away with it, but Montari, that's a third excellent challenge, and he is really up for this match. And Bonucci was calling there for Quagliarella to come a little bit shorter so he could roll the ball into him and then play it out wide. But excellent play there from Montari. We haven't talked about Boateng out as well. That's another player that Milan tonight could make a difference, give them that different physicality.
The corner taken, Robinho to Mandelson, now Antonini. Robinho is onside, will he deliver the cross? Takes a deflection towards the far post, Buffon punches it out for another corner. Scramble in the Juventus penalty box.
Well, they got away with that, Milan. It wasn't the best of balls played in, and took the deflection, Buffon taking no chances, and rightfully so. But Milan got away with that. It was very close there. Robinho just got back onside.
Looks like they go for the direct delivery. Mexes, Montari. And Thiago Silva lining up. Mexes goes down. Nocerino. Van Bommel lays the ball back to Abate. And Thiago Silva can't keep the ball in play.
Yeah, well, Milan out of position completely. There was a great ball played in, wasn't it? And Borriello missed it. It was good defending. Marzali getting back in front of Thiago Silva, and then after that the move broke down completely. Thiago Silva staying out on the left-hand side, and Abate giving the ball away, but Juve doing
given
so.
away by Juventus. Nocerino shoots, it takes a flex in the net. Nocerino scores for Milan.
Just the start they wanted, wasn't it? It's a deflected goal. You were talking about the ex-Juventus player could be a main man this evening. He's proved that. That was a wonderful drive. It obviously took the deflection, but that's the thing. You've got to hit those shots, hit them straight. They could go anywhere. Buffon well beaten with the deflection, and Milan, well, I think maybe not deservedly ahead, but the disappointment on the faces of Juventus players comes from their poor passing out of defence.
And again, Bonucci unable to find one of his teammates, and the ball was picked up. Here you can see the ball intercepted by Mandelson, and Nocerino strided forward.
Then it came off Bonucci as well, didn't it? Yeah. Sending Gigi Buffon the wrong way. But we know that Juve are encouraged by Antonio Conte to play the ball out, not knock it long. So they've done their job in the sense that they played the ball out along the ground. It was a poor ball, but they can't change the way they play. They've got to keep playing like that. We see the top teams always do that. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake at the back. If that's the way you're going to play the ball out from the back, you've got to keep doing that.
It's the Garibia as Juventus look for.
Well, Juve, how many bad passes is that? We've seen two from Bonucci at the back. Essa Garibia, that was a terrible ball, wasn't it? hit diagonal across him, and he could have come back inside, look for Pirlo to build again. Didn't do it.
But also the Milan goal coming from a mishit pass from Abate, which Thiago Silva wasn't able to keep in play, and the throw deep in Juventus territory, and the Bianconeri just couldn't filter possession through to Pirlo. They seemed to be going for the long ball. Perhaps Conte had also planned that Pirlo would have been man-marked. Instead, Milan playing deeper than expected.
But Juve, they've got to get the ball to Pirlo. We've seen Pirlo in tight situations. He doesn't mind how the ball's delivered to him. That ball's got to be knocked up to him.
Abate tidying up for Milan, Thiago Silva. And the ball's won back once again by Robinho, halfway inside his own half.
He seems to be playing further out on the wing and a lot deeper than Iman Wilson, who's playing further forward than him at times. So that's confusing Juve a little bit. But I think we'll start to see Juve step it up, just the physical side of their game.
There's the three central defenders, which is the tactical ploy adopted by Antonio Conte this evening. Instead of using two attacking fullbacks, Lichtsteiner or one side De Celli on the other, he's gone for the three central defenders and Bonucci, the one who's been given the task of taking the ball out of defence and twice losing that possession. Now it's Chiellini under pressure, and it's another corner from another defensive mishap.
Well, they're all over the place, Juventus, at the moment. They can't get any formation going through the midfield. Estigarribia is giving the ball away all the time. Chiellini doesn't really know what to do, either to play it left back or stay in the middle. He needs to stay more in the middle, and he's got to ask Estigarribia to get back. Where is Marchisio? Why isn't he getting involved? Why isn't he trying to win the ball in there? He needs to get involved in this game more.
Crossing by Abate. Chiellini and Mexes again tussling inside the box.
Well, Milan want to push up now, keep Juve back in there, paid dividends the last time.
Stefan Lichtsteiner to Pirlo, under pressure from Montari.
Foul by Montari, definitely. Excellent play by Pirlo, wasn't it? He just went to go back inside. We're not going to see a replay of it, unfortunately, but then he turned away and drew the foul. Excellent play.
Tagliavento said, I can't let you away with that, Andrea. It's going a good 10 yards.
We'll finally get the free kick taken
by the Mr. Ever-present Barzagli. Again involved in the Italy setup, and the World Cup winner back in his Palermo days. Now a stalwart at Juventus. Estigarribia. Here's Marchisio. Chips the ball through again. He's been well covered by the Milan defence. Tassotti, we know, is the master tactician for the Milan back four. He's been busy with his team.
Fouled by Robinho there, but Robinho showing good strength. The hold off Chiellini. I thought he was very unfortunate there.
The free kick goes against Juventus and Marco Borriello.
Well, on that occasion, well, that could have gone either way, really, couldn't it? And Mr. Allegri unhappy there, the fourth official, about something. Tension building here in the San Siro. The home fans, they were jumping up and down there a few minutes ago. They've settled down again, and the match has also settled down a little bit.
Van Bommel. Montari holds off Vidal. Keeps possession. Still Montari. Trying to steamroll his way forward is Pirlo. On the deck, finds Estigarribia. Robinho, though, trying to backtrack. He's given up, though. Estigarribia's got space down the left-hand side. However, turns the ball back to Chiellini.
That's what we're talking about. Estigarribia doesn't really attack the last man, does he?
Ball chipped through once again by Andrea Pirlo.
If Pepe had been out there, he would have been racing, taking that ball further forward, forcing Milan further and further back into their final third. Estigarribia, he's following orders. That's the way he plays. He takes the ball a certain distance. There's the goal again, deflection off Bonucci. Just getting back to Estigarribia, takes the ball forward a certain distance, then he comes back, doesn't he? Then it comes back inside again and allows Milan to get back into their defensive positions. Pato on the, he's a pedestrian at the moment, isn't he, Pato?
Antonio Conte choosing the most defensive of the four options on that left-hand side. Paolo Di Ceglie, Giaccherini and Pepe, a lot more attack-minded. But as you said, Richard, they don't follow the coach's orders exactly as laid out.
No, but there's time, obviously time for a change. Conte will be looking at that. He won't change anything at the moment. The deflected goal.
Lee Steiner. Here comes the corner from Antonini.
Well, that's better from Juve, isn't it? Spreading the play, it's opening things up, allowing Lichtsteiner to deliver, because we know Lichtsteiner, as we were saying before, will get into forward positions to try to swing that ball into the middle. And he did have Vidal inside in a bit of space as well.
This corner kick for Juventus. Worth noting that Milan are keeping three players forward. Emanuelson and Robinho on the two flanks, with Pato in the centre circle, forcing Juventus to keep four defenders back.
Yeah, keep four back as well, so that's good thinking there from Allegri. But he's got to come back in there. He's come back in there, Robinho, because that's where he's got to be to pick up the loose ball.
And he's now inside the Juve half. The ball's trying to be filtered through by Emanuelson for Pato.
Well, that's a move they've been working on in training, and it's an excellent move, where the ball comes out, Robinho goes for it, Emanuelson goes racing across into that space to close it up, and then Pato's left free on the left-hand side.
Lee Steiner rolls the ball on the deck inside the box. Thiago Silva just getting in front of Marco Borriello. Vidal, still Vidal, shot blocked. And Thiago Silva is still down, but Milan have possession. It's 3 against 4.
Got to keep playing.
Emanuelson up against Chiellini. Still Emanuelson, skipping away from the challenge in midfield from Vidal. Robinho looking to get to the byline. Still Robinho.
Oh, just over elaborated. Oh, wonderful dribbling skills from Robinho, and he is on fire this evening, isn't he? Just almost got the ball in there. Watch this again. It was just there. That's how he did very well. A little toe punk away, and there, that shot there into the top of the thigh for Thiago Silva.
I'm sure Thiago Silva will not fall in that area of the top of the thigh.
But it was right to play on, though.
With Emanuelson and Robinho seem to have this understanding they've developed in the absence of Ibrahimovic.
Well, that's it. Another
very
way of
similar
playing.
Movement, very similar style of play.
They do in their first touch. They hold on to when they get the ball. Generally, their first touch is so good, it kills the ball dead. Then they can get their heads up and look to play the passes between each other. So Robinho and Emanuelson are playing together very well. Just need to get Pato into the game, isn't it? We're just waiting for Pato to explode. We always are. He is we'd still call him a raw talent. And Thiago Silva will come off, but no doubt he'll be back on very soon.
Also, with that corner kick for Juventus, with Robinho and Emanuelson down either side of the wings, Pato was in the middle, but is actually tying his shoelace and wasn't watching the action. Here, however...
Well, maybe that was part of the strategy. Who knows with Mr. Allegri.
Emanuelson with the delivery, and it's still free. Saved, the ball still is in the back of the net now. It's goal number 2 for Milan.
It hasn't been given, I don't think it's been given. Unbelievable. We'll have to see that again.
Juventus was celebrating. There was no... Here's the counter-attack with Estigarribia. His shot, saved by Abbiati. And now Milan will have a word with Tagliavento. He says no goal.
They can't have a word for too long. They've got to concentrate. They were off celebrating there. That ball was so far in. Unbelievable decision from the referee's assistant. And then at the other end, it's almost 1-1. Well,
it would have been the second goal in 2 games for Montari. Well, but even Meg says it. Here's the corner, kicks in, goes across the face of the goal.
Juve got away with it there. That decision. We'll be seeing that again and again. And we've had the discussions all week as well. They've been talking about matches. Juventus is saying we don't get any of the breaks. Milan and me saying, Juve are getting all the breaks. Oh, well, there's something to talk about. There's never a dull moment in Serie A, is there? And this season, certainly not between Milan and Juve. Incredible stuff.
But Milan certainly with the upper hand. And even if they haven't doubled their advantage yet, they seem to be capable of doing it. Even in their next attack, here's Abate, back to Nocerino. A lot of diplomacy still going on the touchline between the fourth official and the entire Milan bench. That's the substitute, Allegri, just getting on with his job of coaching his team.
Exactly. The bench just got to they've settled down again. The players have got to settle down as well. They know that they can find a way through this Juventus defence from set pieces as well as open play.
The ball won back from Thiago Silva to Van Bommel, rolls it for Robinho. Robinho goes down under the pressure from
corner kick.
Buffon. Is a corner kick.
Everyone was holding their collective breath there for a second. Weren't a great run again from Robinho. Just knocked the ball a little bit too far himself, and I don't know if well, Buffon didn't get a touch with that with his hands. It came off the top of his head.
But the Juventus back three in great difficulty this evening against Milan. Thiago Silva, he goes for a pot shot.
Well, decided to go distance. Space had opened up, didn't connect cleanly with that. Here's this incident again. The header, good save that first time. Second time that ball's in the back of the net, isn't it? Not the back of the net, but it's across the line. There's no doubt about that, even from that angle.
The official word, though, is that the ball did not cross the line, and the scoreline remains Milan 1, Juventus 0. Incredible scenes with the Milan players celebrating the goal. Most of the Juventus team standing still, getting ready to head back to the halfway line, but Buffon continued.
Quick thinking there from GG as well.
And then Bianconeri came so close to the equalising goal. Emanuelson rolls the ball back to Antonini. There's no target inside the box. Pato drops short. Instead, Antonini switches to Nocerino, and now Abate. Mexes.
It's a better challenge. Better challenge from Chiellini, and then it opens the play up now.
And then a poor layoff from Vidal.
Too rushed there. Also, Quagliarella didn't really know what he wanted to play that ball into Vidal, and was asking a lot. Vidal obviously trying the more difficult little back heel, but it wasn't a great ball from Quagliarella.
And Juventus, here's the ball from a different angle. Muntari's header.
Let's see this time. Well,
you can see even at the far side the referee assistant looking on. What was he looking at?
He saved it the second time. Or was that the third time he saved it? The first time he made the save from Mexes. The second time, well, we saw what happened, and then when the ball came back out again, he gathered it and quickly threw it out. And Gigi Buffon wasn't going to wait around, was he? Clear that ball.
Perhaps the most controversial moment of the season. Pato's away from Bonucci. Pato's walking up, and then
needed to head down straight, go straight for goal there. Wanted to check back in again, but allowed three Juve players to get around him.
Now Estegaribia's got space. Nocerino couldn't get a touch on the ball. A dummy. And Quagliarella and Borriello not with the same understandings they had last week against Catania. The ball's into the box, so Abate touching it.
Well, he's asking a lot there for the Juve players. Once you start running out wide, and players have got to decide, am I going to take the risk and make the run into the penalty area and then be out of position, or stay back? And then generally they stay back in those positions.
Marchisio finds Estegaribia. Shot blocked by Nocerino. Number 22 will keep the ball in play, and then he just floats it out for a throw to Juventus. Expected some support from Robinho. Pirlo. Shot goes wide.
First effort from Pirlo this evening. Well, in the first 30 minutes or so, We'll just see the shot again, always drifting wide, no problems for Abbiati. Rubinho's put a lot in, hasn't he? He's really run a lot, so that may pay against him.
Emmanuel and Pato winning the ball, or perhaps they shouldn't have. It's the Garibia. As you said, Richard doesn't run at the man, but he finds one of his co-strikers, and Quagliarella again. Borriello not linking up, they're not looking for one another. Steiner, Vidal rides the challenge of Muntari, then goes down to a free kick.
Yeah, caught late there, Van Bommel.
Perhaps a knock on the head.
I think it was clipped more by Van Bommel from, definitely from behind there from Van Bommel, and the knee as well. Van Bommel, one thought in his mind: get the man, get the ball. And that's what it's shown how much tonight that Milan, well, now they've gone ahead and really battling for every ball in that midfield. They want to match Juventus stride for stride in the physical element of the game as well, don't they?
And Vidal has said time and time again, is a midfield warrior, and he's picked himself up.
Well, yeah, you expect that. He hasn't had the best first half, but we've seen him before in games where he's always come good around the hour mark, and he's growing in stature as the game's gone on.
The jostling at the edge of the box as the cross is in from Pirlo. Header over.
Good ball played in, wasn't it? I think it was a foul. Chiellini flying into the penalty area, as we know he loves to do. Well,
leaning on Mexes.
A little bit of leaning. Did get his head to the ball though. Didn't see too much wrong with that, really.
Has the referee been affected by the psychological warfare between the two sides? In a very heated build-up to this match. Conte looking on, studying, and there hasn't been that much of a reaction from Juventus from going a goal behind to Nocerino on 14 minutes. Still the goal that separates Milan and Juventus.
Well, I think Juve will continue to look to win the ball when it's played forward, such as Chiellini did in the 50-50 challenges, and then try to break quickly, as we saw there on a couple of occasions.
Mexes flighting the ball into the penalty box. Again, Bonucci not looking too clever under pressure. Nocerino wins the ball from Mr. Garibia. Abate running at Chiellini. And Juventus being pinned back inside their own third and losing possession once again. Nocerino looking for a free kick. The referee lets play continue, and then a misunderstanding with Ignazio Abate. Mr. Garibia leaves the ball behind him.
That was it. There's a little bit of confusion there from Juve, but now with Pirlo on the ball, things will calm down a little bit. Rare touch for Marchisio. Just hasn't got into the game, has he?
The man of the match back in Turin. Round 6.
That's better play between Quagliarella and Borriello, but then the ball had to come out to the right-hand side.
Stopped by Van Bommel. Now gesturing to his defensive teammates just to calm down, keep possession for a while. Mexes finds Nocerino. Invites Robinho to attack. Chiellini, the ball's into the 6-yard box, cleared away by Barzagli, but the ball's picked up once again by Milan. They're latching onto every loose ball. Robinho almost gets away from Vidal. He has Antonini in support. Muntari gets the shout from the fans. The cross is untouched.
That's good pressure from Milan. Getting the ball wide, getting a man to the byline. That's what you want to do. Get that ball whipped into the penalty area.
Robinho. Muntari. And Chiellini chests the ball back to Gigi Buffon.
That's not the sort of ball that Pato wants, just play it in like that, and Pato making no effort to go for it. He knows he's not going to reach it. Allows the ball to go on. Muntari there, that still to get to know how Pato likes the ball played to us, and just been behind him. And,
Quagliarella taken out of the game by Thiago Silva, and the Brazilian gets a yellow card.
I'm asking the question here, why wasn't advantage played there? Then you come back, if you want to book the player, book him after the move comes to an end. Estigarribia was in acres of space on the left hand side. Play could have continued. Milan won't mind taking the free kick and the booking there, realising they get back in their defensive positions because they were caught a little bit outnumbered on the left hand side.
Quagliarella runs into Muntari. Excellent contrast in midfield between the grace of Robinho and Emanuelson and the physical nature of Muntari.
Well, with Muntari in there, it allows Milan almost to play three up front, doesn't it? If you like, with three players in more advanced positions, because you know that Muntari, Van Bommel and Nocerino are going to work so hard in that midfield three.
Lichtsteiner somehow gets the ball into the box, driven in by Quagliarella, cleared away by Mike Says. Borriello looking for a decent delivery, and it doesn't come from Pirlo, and it's out of play for a goal kick to Milan.
And he had time there, Pirlo. It set his body position up very well, taking the ball down his chest as if to take the ball out to the right to give him a little bit more space to whip it in, but by Pirlo's standards that was a poor cross into the box. And I think Conte now feel like his team are starting to just claw their way back in. They're getting a little bit of a foothold now in the midfield area especially. They'll want the game to get a bit more scrappy with the 50-50 balls and just bounce to them, and then they'll try to break quickly, but still plenty of time in this first half.
Nocerino unable to control. Now space for Lichtsteiner. Vidal. Back to the Switzerland international. Barzagli. Van Bommel. Another foul. Snapping at the heels of Fabio Quagliarella.
Well, Quagliarella, he stood up to the challenges, hasn't he? Did very well there shielding the ball, drew the free kick again. Van Bommel, he's eager, isn't he? He's a bit too eager at times. Quagliarella wasn't really going anywhere. He could only play the ball back or out to Lichtsteiner, who was being marked anyway.
Cross in by Pirlo. Here's one by Mexes. Chiellini will take the throw. Estigarribia. Only one thought in his mind, has to offload the ball to Pirlo. Here's Barzagli.
Well, he is a man who follows orders, isn't he? Estigarribia.
Vidal unable to find a way past Muntari, and Pato back in helping midfield. Allegri expects all 11 players to work. There are no passengers in the Milan side. And here's the counter-attack with Robinho. Lets the ball run past him. This shows strength against Pirlo. Feeds the ball through and it's going to arrive. But Chiellini and Bonucci somehow close the door on that Milan attack. Emanuelson trying to clip the ball once again through the middle.
Well, that's what Chiellini, that's the game he loves, when it's a 60-40 ball against him. That's where he comes to the fore and he wins those balls. And I'm just going to say that Marquisio, when that ball was headed out by Abate, Marquisio was 10 yards off the pace there. If he'd have been a bit closer, he would have got onto that loose ball. He needs to just play further up the pitch, Marquisio, when the ball's played into the penalty area.
He's now in the box waiting for a cross. Doesn't come though. And another counter-attack for Milan. Emanuelson looks up, he sees Pato. He wonders what Pato's going to do. Emanuelson skips away from Barzagli, and the referee will show a yellow card.
He's full of confidence, isn't he, the young Dutchman? He's had his critics here in Italy, and both you and me, Paul, we can say we've always felt he's been playing well and he's been growing in stature, he's getting his confidence, and the last few games he's been excellent, and tonight he's just full of running, he's following that up, as we're saying, good close control, wants to take players on, bring players into the game.
now playing as a trequartista. Not bad for a player who arrived as a fullback.
Exactly, and listen, where we're going to play him, they didn't know, was he going to play at left back, left side of midfield when Allegri's worked on him, and as you say, he's playing as that support striker or advanced midfielder, if you like, more, and also can drift out to both wings, which is an added plus when, especially when you're attacking the three-man defence as they're doing tonight and finding ways through here. So interesting moment.
Free kick, carbon copy from last week against Cesena. Thiago Silva struck it, it was spilled by the Cesena goalkeeper, and Muntari netted the rebound. There's again Thiago Silva, but it strikes the wall. Van Bommel drives it in, just wide.
Thought he'd taken an age there, Van Bommel, to get the shot away, but in the end, very close. The first touch wasn't the best, was it? It took a little bit too far away from his body, and that's hence he dragged the ball wide of the goal. Yeah, it wasn't a good touch, the first one, but very close anyway.
Again, pressure coming from Emmanuelson. It is not the Dutchman, it's Robinho. And Juventus still having difficulty inside their own half to get the ball out, but they've done it with Marchisio. Quick ball to Chiellini. Vidal lays it off again to Marchisio. Now Lee Steiner. Juventus have got players forward. Pirlo, his delivery, and Mexes happily waiting for that, but Mexes limping.
Yes, he's not moving smoothly, is he, Mexes, and he's won just about everything in the air this evening. His clearances have been excellent. Marchisio
back in as an extra defender, touching the pass back to Buffon. Antonini winning the battle against Lee Steiner.
Came off second best there, Antonini down below us, he's just limping away. And
the contact coming from Quagliarella, who arrived later, and there's another touch by Van Bommel. Muntari though caught in possession, didn't get a shout from his teammates.
It's really opening up this game. Neither side can keep possession, can they? And some of the Pirlo passing has been below Pirlo standard. The radars off this evening at the moment.
Thiago Silva again, rock solid in the heart of the Milan defence. Robinho wins the ball back, and then Chiellini, strangely caught in midfield, getting in the way of Andrea Pirlo.
Well, once again, I thought the referee should have played advantage yet again. The ball had gone back to Milan, and the break was on with Nocerino. He could have played down the flank where the run was being made. Manuelson was making the run further forward.
Mexes with the free kick. Three Juventus substitutes working hard down the touchline already. Mirko Vucinic, Pepe and Giaccherini.
Yeah. One of those three would make a big difference to Juve going forward, just for their running a bit. Giaccherini, I feel this is a match made for him. It's a hectic game, it's full of running, there's not a lot of time on the ball. He likes that type of play, doesn't he? More so than Vucinic.
Mexes caught inside the Juventus half, risking a yellow card there. Borriello doing well.
Well, Borriello risking a yellow card, I thought, as he was asking for the yellow card. There's not Chirino flying into him there, and Borriello unhappy. It's a hairstyle knocked off there. That was a problem, I thought. And, well, I don't like to see that, and you don't either, Paul. When a player is asking for the yellow card. Tell Juventus not want to make any more decisions that are going to annoy anybody.
Bonucci being fouled, but the referee this time playing advantage, Richard. When there wasn't that much of an advantage on, and it was a free kick, which would have been in a dangerous position. The ball's free inside the box, is breaking back, driven in. Vidal didn't test Abbiati, but that was the first time we've seen Milan not clearing their lines.
Yeah, when it came down, again, another ball that had just drifted away from his body, so it didn't connect with it cleanly. And I think Abbiati would have got a touch on it if it had been any closer to the goal. 1
minute of stoppage time in this first half, which has just flown by.
It has been drama-filled in so many ways, and just feel that Milan deserve their lead at the moment. Juve, I think, very below par, especially in the midfield. Marchisio, especially Pirlo, as well as passings let him down, and good hard work from Milan in the midfield. We don't always say that, but certainly this evening Robinho and then Wilson have stood out going forward.
There's also an aspect of the Juventus setup with a 3-5-2 that they don't use the wings as much as they do when they play 4-3-3.
Well, I think we may see a change from Conte, maybe not at the start of the second half, but certainly before we get to the hour mark anyway.
Last week, Paduin and De Celje not used. Eventually, De Celje did get in the game, and there is the half-time whistle. It's Milan 1, Juventus 0. The goal coming from Nocerino, and there is still all the talk about the not goal in the 25th minute.
Well, that's it. That'll be the big talking point. But let's talk about the goal. There's Nocerino. There he is, the man of the moment. And as I said before, I think Milan just deserve the slight edge which they've got.
Join us once again after the break. And welcome back from the San Siro. It's Milan 1, Juventus 0 at half-time, but we have two changes already, one for either side. El Shaarawy will come on for Milan. And I can't see a number 7 wandering around on the pitch, while Simone Pepe comes on for Estigarribia. It just had to be a matter of who was coming on. For the Juventus wide man, disappointing in the first half, lack of personality. Now Simone Pepe is on, and here is El Shaarawy.
Well, good move on both accounts, I feel. Pato was a passenger for Milan in the first half, that has to be said. Never got involved in the game. And Pepe, we know what he can do. He's full of running, he gets in advanced positions, and that's what Juventus need. They need the support up front, somebody to create something, to get wide, get that ball into the middle and cause Milan a few problems in the heart of their defence, which they just haven't done. Mexes still on as well. He was carrying a little bit of an injury, but he seems to be okay at the moment.
We did see both Yepes and Bonera going through their warm-ups. The referee blows the whistle, and we're back underway at the San Siro. Milan leading by 1-0 over Juventus, and Milan playing into their fans at the Curva Sud in the second half. Chiellini rolls the ball back to Bonucci. Also at the end of the first half, Antonini and Lichtsteiner involved in a little heated exchange. There's a player down already to start the second half. There's been no flag raised. And I have to say, I was watching the action unfolding in midfield.
Exactly, I think, I'll just say it again, it's like collision there. Well, or was it? Well, Mexes there. There's a little dig there from Mexes. Well, you know, the cameras are all over the place, and players, they think they're going to get away with things. I don't know, you know, what century they're living in, really. We've got cameras at every angle. Mexes, you know what happened there with Borriello. They've been at it all through the match, and
no love lost between the Roma days.
Certainly doesn't seem to be. But watch that. There's a punch. Now what's going to happen there when that comes to the TV judges, to the
TV evidence?
The evidence, exactly. The TV evidence. They're going to call for that.
It's a violent gesture. It'll be 3-match suspension.
Could well be. There's no. You know, I'm not surprised at some of the actions of some of the players at times, but really, with all the cameras around, you just can't get away with anything like that. It's not like the good old days, as they say. But anyway, back to the football. That's the important thing, and certainly you feel this second half, Milan, they'll just want to kill the pace of the game, won't they? They want to keep the ball moving through the midfield and start to frustrate Juventus, because we've seen matches when a team's a goal down, especially to Milan, suddenly time slips away and Milan are suddenly in their comfort zone. But
the change up front for for Milan, means that there is no Pato, so even a half-target man doesn't exist anymore. There are 3 players who will swap and switch position, and they're in possession now. From Alisson to Robinho. El Shaarawy, the ball just pushing the teenager out of the penalty box, but still Robinho. Great skill by Robinho. El Shaarawy couldn't reach it.
That ball just had it been a bit more precise, just rolled into his path. He was straight through on goal there.
Estigarribia, sorry, it was Vidal looking for a free kick.
And you see already with the substitute on, a lot more lively, Milan, the movement. He's willing to win the ball. There he is, there winning the ball cleanly.
And he's back up on his feet. Robinho didn't read the pass there. And Milan looking dangerous at the start of the second half as well. Juventus looking for some inspiration.
Well, I feel that Antonio Conte's made one substitution, Pepe. The obvious, I think, you can't really change midfield defence. They pick themselves. But Vucinic, Matre, really, both, I think, need to come on sooner rather than later.
Borriello winning the ball back. Vidal taking his time with the pass, though. Here's Pirlo. Chiellini, an option, but Pirlo didn't want to play the simple ball to the full-back. Claimed the free kick. It wasn't given. Van Bommel. Challenge seemed to be a clean one by Chiellini.
It was a clean one.
The ball's through and is offside against El Shaarawy.
Just offside. It's hectic stuff, and Juventus players having a word to Van Bommel. He doesn't mind. He's used to it. But again, you like to say it was a clean challenge. Van Bommel did get up straight away. Didn't make a big meal of it really once the referee said play on.
Cross in from Lichtsteiner. Header won by Abate. Vidal, shot, lifts it too high.
Well, he had more time there, Vidal, really. That wasn't the best of efforts. And that ball came down. He was body position wasn't great. We talked about that before in this game with players. You've got to be spot on your body position. And there, El Shaarawy was almost through. You see this challenge again.
Absolutely nothing in it.
Really, there's just off balance a little bit there, Pirlo. But no let up in the drama, and
header won by Pirlo. Pumped forward by Van Bommel. This time he touches it out to Abate. And Robinho is in behind Chiellini, but the fullback does well. Fullback central defender, call him what you want, but the tackle was there.
I think at this stage you just got to play Chiellini really as a left back, don't you? Because Milan are attacking that position over the top of him. I think you've got to go forward the back for Juventus now. Lichtsteiner dropping in as well, and just build that platform for the back, because Milan will play that ball all evening, won't they, over the top.
Robinho rolls the ball to Abate. Antonini. Back to Abate. And Milan in no rush now to get the ball forward. Here's Mexes. Space for Van Bommel. He had time as well. Putting pressure on the ball carrier, and it's out for a corner. And Buffon, grateful the ball was not on target.
Exactly, came out there. He was again, but it's Juventus who want, whenever they just don't want to clear the ball up the pitch, do they? When it's played back, it was a poor ball back there from Borriello. It was hit with a lot of pace as well, wasn't it? And maybe the wrong man to be back in there. And sometimes you just got to clear the ball long, clear your lines, and then you can build again, reform your defence. But needless corner given away.
Mexes arriving at the far post. The cross doesn't reach past the near post. Twice won by Antonini, but he's still out of position. Can Juventus take advantage? Abate covering into the heart of the defence.
Excellent play there by Abate, coming across from the right back position, following the path of the ball, where to close it down quickly.
Pirlo trying to step up his game in the second half.
First time we've really seen him spread the ball out. He wants it back in there. Chiellini back into Bonucci. I think the ball should have gone to Pirlo.
Then we got a push there on Abate from Borriello.
That all came from poor decision making by Chiellini there. All the way back to Bonucci. Where's Bonucci going to go with that? It should have been back into Pirlo again. And when the ball's played forward, it's a 50-50 ball, isn't it?
And there is the second substitution ready for Juventus. Mirko Vucinic stripped and ready to come into the action.
Well, before the match, he was the man I'd picked out as could have been the difference between the two sides. Now we'll see if he will be. He has plenty of time anyway.
El Shaarawy. El Shaarawy inside the penalty box. Robinho's been brought down. The referee plays advantage.
Playing on.
The cross in. Eventually just drifts out for a goal kick.
Well,
Robinho.
Let's have a look at that again. Well, that's a foul outside the area, no doubt about that. And the referee decides I'm going to play advantage this time. Ball coming off, gets involved as well, the referee, doesn't he?
And Vucinic comes on, and Marco Borriello sits down.
Yeah, disappointing return. He battling away, battled away, but to little effect. And now Vucinic offers a different type of attack down this left-hand side. He's got all the trickery as well. It'll be through the middle for Quagliarella. Pepe hasn't got into the game. Now he's going to stay exclusively out on the right-hand side. I thought he would have come on and started on the left-hand side, but obviously Conte was thinking about the substitutions ahead, wasn't he? So Pepe yet to get in on the game on the right-hand side. Vucinic will be, one feels the ball's got to get out to him, and anything can happen when he goes on a run.
Marchisio winning the header, then getting in the way of Mexes' clearance up the pitch. Here's Vucinic, his first involvement. Vidal, a rush pass. El Shaarawy on the counter-attack. Pirlo sliding in to take the ball away from Robinho, almost laying it back into the path of El Shaarawy. And these three very mobile forwards for Milan, causing all kinds of problems for Juventus.
The movement's been excellent. They've gone out wide, they've gone through the middle, and then they're keeping the Juventus defenders guessing.
Van Bommel scoops the ball out to Abate. Nocerino slightly overhitting his control, but works at his task and earns a throw halfway inside the Juventus half.
And I think every challenge Milan win from now on is going to be cheered by the home fans.
Muntari, space for Antonini. Can he keep the ball in play? He does. First time cross in, cleared away by Barzagli. Now Juventus have got space in which to attack, but Milan working so hard in midfield, and you can hear the appreciation from the Rossoneri fans.
And that's what they want to see from their players. And we didn't see that in the first half from Pato. If Pato had got back, chasing back, helping out, then maybe he would have stayed on in the second half. But you've seen the difference when you've got 11 players working to keep your team ahead in the top of the table clash in Serie A. That's what you need. You need 11 players all committed.
Milan, the last 3 home games, have only won 1, and that was against Cagliari. They lost against Inter and drew against Napoli. Pepe cutting in field. Marchisio, and then Muntari happy to get in the way. Abate. And Amelson won't reach that pass, but he'll still put pressure on Bonucci, and he'll continue to put pressure on Buffon.
That's rarely we see Buffon go long, isn't it? He is this time, and it's paid dividends. Allows allows Juventus to have possession further up the pitch.
Pirlo, pass read by Abate.
Poor ball again from Pirlo, wasn't it?
Scrapping in midfield, El Shaarawy earns the throw, and there's another round of applause.
Well, he's a new hero, isn't he, for the Milan fans? They love his all-round commitment and his willingness to chase down the lost cause. Antonio Conte knows his team have got to do that now.
Great pass by Thiago Silva, finding Nocerino. Doesn't fancy the shot, instead it rolls the ball into the path of Abate, drives his cross and breaks off Chiellini. Corner kick for Milan. And the impetus still with the home side.
Well, they're just finding that extra space ahead, and the discussions there amongst the Juventus players. This is as we said before the match, this pivotal point of the season, and now we're in the pivotal point of the game. When we head into the last 30 minutes or so, this could be defining for Juventus's season, one feels.
Corner kick, it's a deep one. Vidal touched out the header for another throw at the other end.
A few of the Juventus players are starting to look at each other as well. So Vidal headed the ball out, then he turned around. He said, "What else was I going to do?" They've just got to stick together, keep calm at this situation, trying to ride out the storm. Of course, don't concede another goal, and then look for a way back into the game in the last 30 or so.
Thiago Silva
Hardly touched the ball this evening, Thiago Silva, has it? It's just been able to cover things, one touch, two touch, and he's away. And Excess has been very calm beside him as well.
Milan have not conceded a goal in 5 of their last 6 home matches. They have only conceded 2 goals at the San Siro once this season, the opening game against Lazio. That is the task that Juventus have facing them, as the ball was threaded through for Muntari.
Excellent run from Muntari, picked out well, just a little bit overhit there from Rubinho. Once again, Iman Wilson, he rode the challenge of Chiellini so well, held Chiellini off and was able to open up the space.
Rubinho with his day-glow boots in the second half, putting pressure on Pirlo. Marchisio, again Abate, helping out, and Mexes gracefully getting away from Vucinic, and then not so useful with his clearance.
Well, Abate there just wanted to go long, wanted to clear the lines there. He got the return pass he wasn't expecting from Van Bommel.
Van Bommel read that pass from Barzagli. Robinho though, unable to get the ball forward, and he had 2 options ahead of him. Robinho perhaps showing signs of tiredness here.
I think
on
so.
The hour mark.
We don't see anyone warming up at the moment, do we, down below us? But you're absolutely right. Just not a surprise really. He's put in so much effort as well as just the skill that he's shown. A little bit of space here for Juve.
Pepe fed by Vucinic, but Muntari, Antonini and Thiago Silva covering well for the home side. But Pepe beginning to get into the game a little bit more. He's needed that quarter of an hour.
Still prefer him on the left hand side. As you see, he likes to come in field all the time. He's coming in on his left foot, and then he's want to pass the ball. He's trying to flick it with his right foot, which is always difficult. But when he comes in on his left, then he can play the ball in with his favoured right foot.
But Conte has switched his team back to the 4-3-3. Antonini. Again scrambling for the ball, the 2 players.
Good performance tonight from Antonini. He's a player, again, he's had a lot of criticism.
Pirlo back to Buffon. Again, the credit going down to Tassotti, how he's developed the 2 fullbacks, Antonini and Abate, over the last couple of seasons.
Well, they've learned from the old maestro himself, Tassotti.
Juventus trying to thread the ball through Vucinic, looking for the return pass from Quagliarella, didn't come. There's still some more movement up front from Juventus.
Well, there is. It's better movement now. The ball being played to feet. Nice little flick off there by Quagliarella. Vucinic just unable to read it and didn't have enough power in that final pass. But the element of surprise is there more now with Vucinic and Quagliarella working together.
Here is Vucinic drifting infield, dumped by Van Bommel, and then the crunching tackle from Muntari, cleanly on the ball. And Nocerino breaks away from Vidal. Still Nocerino bundled over, and he'll happily take the free kick. The 2 number 22s.
Well, it's good to see that. Shake the hands there, both players battling away for the ball.
Going back to Robinho, showing signs of tiredness. Obviously no Ibrahimovic, but also no Maxi Lopez. Another injury problem for Milan, after leading the line so well against Cesena. Conte with no such injury worries, only has young Maroni. The Milan list seems never ending. There's Nocerino. This time he does get another free kick. It was a late whistle by Tagliavento.
Well, I think Tagliavento's just waiting there if Nocerino's going to turn away. There's Alessandro Del Piero on the bench, no sign of him coming on. He's a man who's turned the game in the past, hasn't he? Will Conte be... Well, would it be brave for Conte to go for Del Piero trying to win a free kick?
Conte.
You know, any way to get back in the game later on, but if he's going to bring him on, it doesn't look the body language of a player that's coming on, does it?
Certainly hasn't been asked to warm up. One player is warming up though. There's Pippo Inzaghi. And Yepes, two players warming up for Milan. Header won by Thiago Silva. It's a masterclass in defending.
That's what we're talking about. Right across that back line, Thiago Silva will cover.
Pirlo.
Again, a poor ball from Pirlo. Just hasn't been his night. Do you think the pressure's got to him coming back to the San Siro in the first big competitive game? Italian Cup's a different proposition completely, of course, but big league game, all the pressure on top of the table. I just feel tonight his passing has let him down. Also, he just hasn't dominated.
Here's Vucinic. Vucinic always managing to ghost away from his first defender. However, unable to find the pass for one of his teammates.
First time I've seen Marchisio win the ball this evening.
Here's Pirlo once again dropping deeper. Now plays the ball out to Chiellini. He takes his eye off the ball. There's a very laboured build-up from Juventus.
He's just running into trouble there, trying too many touches.
Here's the counter-attack, it's 3 against 3. Imam Wilson, El Shaarawy's got the pace, but can't get in ahead of Barzagli.
Good defending, Barzagli. Got back there, he knew he had to make that challenge cleanly. Look at him watching the ball the whole way. His whole thought was as soon as got anywhere near that ball just to clear it, and he did very well. But you just feel Milan trying to draw Juve in, and then that quick break.
Van Bommel striding forward, Van Bommel, one touch too many, and Marchisio once again getting his boot in midfield. Lichtsteiner, you can see firmly part of the back four. Bonucci and Barzagli, the central defenders. And it'll go back.
It's excellent play there by Milan, isn't it? The front three closing down on the halfway line, in the midfield three tucking in, and you've got your back four who are free to then attack the ball, as they're doing there through Maxess.
Chiellini for a fraction. He has some time. Vucinic, snapshot, drifts wide, and Milan will be delighted if that is all Juventus can do to threaten the equaliser. Also, a statistic from before the start of this match was that average Juventus needed 20 shots for every goal, Milan only 10.
Well, we've stuck to that average, and certainly it's going to go beyond that tonight. Well, I don't think Juve tonight, how many shots have they had on target?
The one chance after the non-goal for Milan. Juventus broke up, and Estigarribia forced a good save out of Abbiati.
Yeah, that's been about it really, but still only 1-0, that's the thing. And we know that Juve are a side that will never give up.
Nocerino to Robinho.
That's why I feel that Milan need that second goal.
And Robinho not quite as dazzling as he was in the first half. Juventus, their season's aim was always to recreate a feeling between the fans and the team.
Well, suddenly Marchisio's come alive. That's more like it for Marchisio. He won the ball back there, he was forceful, he wanted to bring players into the game.
Not making the run into the box though, only one option for the cross in from Pepe. And Quagliarella seemed to be suffering from cramp at the moment. Here's Pirlo.
Yeah, he's worked hard, Quagliarella. Maybe time to come off. That's a great ball.
Dangerous crossing. Great save by Abbiati. Point blank stop, and Juventus almost drawing equal.
That's what we were talking about. They just need that moment. That's a great ball by Chiellini. Great save, Abbiati. Not offside either. Wonderfully played in right across the 6-yard area. You love those balls if you're a striker, don't you?
And for the first time, Thiago Silva caught on the back foot. Quagliarella just couldn't.
That'll be his last piece of action, but he's played well, he's battled well, he's shown for the ball. And Matri's on now. That substitution, it could have been one where he could have come off celebrating, but Abbiati made the great save. But now Matri's on, and we know he'll attack the penalty spot, and he's going to cause some problems. And we're going to see Pepe sweep that ball on in. Chiellini push up, and Juve now, I think, pushing forward, looking the stronger side, one feels.
And the ball breaks off Van Bommel for Pepe. Dangerous crossing towards the far post. Abbiati once again called into action. Chiellini.
High foot from Chiellini. He won't mind. Fans up below us there showing what they think of Chiellini. He's going for the ball. I didn't see too much wrong with that. Yeah, that's just a little bit of frustration there from Chiellini, rightfully so. I thought he kept his foot down, and his foot wasn't that high, wasn't above the waist really. If you look at this again, when the ball drops down.
Abbiati once again involved in the thick of the action. A former Juventus player. Another ex thrown into the fray with Matri, a Milan youth product.
It's definitely Juve now. They're finding that second wind, if you like. They've got the movement, the passing's a lot crisper as well.
Allegri calling over his two substitutes, Yepes and Inzaghi. Neither, you would think, would really change the pattern of the game. Nocerino caught in possession by Chiellini, and now Marchisio going across to have a word with the referee why there was no free kick given in his side's favour.
Referee had to make the instant decision there, really. He felt that Chiellini had already knocked the ball forward and it was going nowhere. But at the moment, Milan now starting to struggle. I think it's just through the midfield. The front three, they've run themselves into the ground. There's no doubt about that. They've run out of energy completely, haven't they? And the midfield are also starting to labour a bit. Van Bommel is just walking around now. He's not... Marchisio, I'm sure he can sense that and suddenly stepped up his game and he's seen a lot more of the ball.
20 minutes for Juventus to save their unbeaten record this season and not to fall further behind Milan at the top of Serie A. Juventus still with a game in hand though. Chiellini skipping away from Nocerino, and this time we'll get the free kick. Chiellini now getting the better down his left hand side. Much
better, isn't he, Chiellini, when he's playing at the left back position? He can just allow to go forward, and that's what he wants. He's just one of those players who's just completely full of running. That free kick will have to be taken again.
Ambrosini has already been quickly called into the fray. Well, he wasn't warming up, he hasn't been warming up at all in the second half, but as you said, Richard, the midfield's ground to a halt. One of the players who's run himself into the ground is asked to make way, and some extra midfield muscle from the captain.
Exactly, that's absolutely right. He's a player who'll come on, you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to win every ball, he's going to break up things in midfield. That's what Milan need to do now with that Juve midfield, this quick free kick taken.
And it's way off target.
It's a waste, it's an absolute waste there from Vidal. We've seen his shooting before. Everyone keeps saying, oh, he's got a great shot on him. We've seen him a couple of times score a couple of good goals, but more than often his shooting's way off. And there, you just knew as soon as he got the ball up, that ball was going nowhere near the goal. And a lot of players in there, in the box as well. Matri just on as well, tall, physical player.
Antonio Conte looking on in a rather resigned manner. He knows he can no longer do anything in the terms of substitutes. He's made all the changes that he can. Pepe, Vucinic and now Matri have come on. Some critics would argue that they should have been playing from the kickoff. Chiellini His pass cut out by Mexes.
Already there's a great run from Matri, isn't it? It's split the two central defenders, Thiago Silva and Mexes. Mexes having to go across there, expend more energy and just knocking the ball out. He's not moving that freely, is he? Mexes, I'm just looking across there. Matri will want to target that.
Now Matri tucking in behind Thiago Silva as Juventus work down the flanks, with Pepe cutting in, and there's no run from either of the two forwards.
Well, it's difficult there, Pepe, when he's coming in field. Again, I don't think he works the best out on that right-hand side. And he's coming in there, he just needs to roll the ball back in again and start again as a wasteful ball forward. There's no way that Matri is ever going to reach that.
Now Muntari seems to have taken the more advanced midfield role. Manuelson has gone off. Ambrosini has slipped into the left-hand side of the midfield three. Van Bommel just getting in ahead.
Well, Milan, they're trying to want to kill the pace of the game. I don't think they're going to get a chance, really. Juve are just going to really start to pressurise them, and it's either going to be one of those where Juve pressing and Milan get something on the break.
Muntari. Nocerino shaping up for the shot, instead he lays it low for El Shaarawy. Ambrosini, and the header away by Lichtsteiner, but Vidal unable to control, still slides in and keeps possession for the visitors. It'll be a corner.
Excellent play again.
Vidal seems to be all the base once again. Slow getting onto his feet. Vidal suffering from the first pangs of cramp.
Well, also that he was stretching for that challenge with Muntari as well. We just had a shot there. Alex Del Piero on the bench. The last time we'll probably see him here at the San Siro for Juventus anyway.
Always been greatly admired by Silvio Berlusconi, who said time and again he would love to see him in a Milan shirt. Del Piero said he will only ever wear the black and white stripes in Italian football. Nocerino. Mishit cross, putting pressure on his defence. Van Bommel reads and plays out a wonderful ball to Robinho, who's onside. Hurries his shot come cross.
Plenty of time there, Robinho, to take the ball in with the right foot, try to curl the ball into the far corner. That seemed the obvious move there for a striker, really.
There's the lack of lucidity down to tiredness, both mental and physical. Mexes against Matri. And again Mexes winning the challenge this time against Vucinic, but then gives the ball away in midfield to Vidal. Pirlo. Vidal. He has space and time to hit a shot. Doesn't fancy it though. Perhaps I heard your criticism, Richard.
Well, that was the opportunity to drive on there. I think that tiredness, really, isn't it? You've got to forgive him slightly for that. But if you are tired, then you get the ball out to the fresh players who are out in the wings.
Juventus now winning some of the scraps in midfield, and they've still got the pieces here with the cross in. Header won by Abate once again. But now the loose ball being picked up by Juventus, and again they come forward. Lichtsteiner to Pepe, doesn't take on Anthony, just whips on a dangerous ball, and Abate helping out the central defenders once again, tucking in behind Mexes.
That's better from Pepe, isn't it? Two excellent balls played in there, looking for Matri on both occasions.
No foul for Robinho.
No, this is where you've got to play on, this is where you've got to be strong now in these final moments.
Van Bommel complaining that Pirlo defended himself with his elbow. But now certainly Juventus enjoying their best phase of the match. Mexes gives a shout from the 60-odd thousand Milan fans inside the stadium.
There's a couple of Juve players down. Vidal as well, he's spent force, one feels.
Marchesi under pressure from Nocerino.
Looked like
the ball gone out.
Play on, says everyone.
Pirlo.
Let's keep the game moving. This is
Vucinic,
dramatic
pass
stuff.
out to Pepe. Back in for Vucinic, he's been read by Antonini. And Thiago Silva looking for the pace of Robinho.
Coolest man on the pitch, Thiago Silva.
El Shaarawy back in, helping his defence. That's why Robinho was up there all on his own. Vidal.
Ball's
no way
got to
through
go
the
wide.
middle, it's got to go wide. Pirlo looks up. Pepe, there's Lichtsteiner further out to the right-hand side. Ambrosini blocks the cross.
In those situations, the ball's got to go wide again. Pepe got to give it to Lichtsteiner.
Show of character from Juventus in the second half. Looking for the equaliser. Ambrosini, the ball's through, offside!
Offside, doesn't count, doesn't count. Well, Matri running away there to celebrate, ex-Milan player as well.
The
Let's
flag
have a look
was
again.
raised immediately here. Matri is a good... He's in line.
He's not offside, he's not offside.
Matri is in line. It was Vucinic. It was actually the player coming back from an offside position.
But not really interfering with play. Talking points all around, both ends. That's maybe even things out a little bit, doesn't it? As you always say in football, things even themselves out over a season.
And a firm believer in that argument is Max Allegri, the Milan coach. His side still with their noses in front.
But that's just a warning, isn't it, really, for Milan? Playing that it's tiredness now that they're forced further and further back. They've got to try to play up the pitch. Not when you're winning the ball.
Once again winning another crunching tackle. He's been outstanding in the second half. Mexes will get a yellow card.
Well, he knew he had to make the challenge there. He's going to get the ball or the man, and whatever happens, it had to be one or the other. In this situation, you're going to be making desperate challenges. There's 10 minutes remaining. It's going to seem like a lifetime for Milan. It's going to be slipping away like the sands for Juventus, isn't it?
Pirlo.
It's a bad challenge.
From behind
That's
by
a bad
Muntari.
challenge. That's a bad challenge.
And there's a yellow card. Muntari. It's his second match for Milan, and it's his second yellow card.
Challenge from behind there. Definite yellow card. And Pirlo got away there, got into the space as well. He was looking up ahead. There were players making the moves on the edge of the area.
You know, Richard, you said that Pirlo in the first half was all very rushed. I'm slightly more convinced it was Conte. Played his tactics around the long ball from defence. He thought Pirlo was going to be a man mark. He thought Milan would be focusing all their attention on their former player. Instead, they gave him all the time. And Conte's tactics are now back to the traditional this season 4-3-3, and the free kick driven into the wall. Chance for the counter-attack. El Shaarawy, he'll look up and you'll see he has support from two of his teammates. It's 3 against 3. El Shaarawy, Nocerino, Robinho. Decisive intervention from Barzagli once again. And Buffon with an acrobatic clearance up the pitch. I'm not quite sure why he was in such a rush.
Yeah, there was no need to really knock that ball long like that. Just going back to that free kick, there was no way that wall was 10 yards. It's strange that Pirlo went for the shot anyway, instead of stopping and sending the referee. Send that wall back. The two-man wall was at least 5 yards when he hit the ball.
Vidal seems to be enjoying a second wind. The midfielder for Juventus, Van Bommel, and there's a return of the favour.
Van Bommel did well there, protected the ball well, drew the free kick. That's what Milan want to do. They want to break up just the whole rhythm of this game, the whole tempo. And well, we're saying top of the table, carnival atmosphere, more like a heavyweight. It's going the full 15 rounds. This heavyweight challenge tonight.
Allegri did quip that Milan would feel Zlatan's absence. After all, he does weigh 220 pounds. But despite the absence of the Swedish super heavyweight, it's still some contest, and Juve have got the ball back. Matri this time blocked by Mexes when he was onside.
First mistake of the night by Thiago Silva with that back header. Not cleared yet though.
Another delivery. There's the equaliser.
Kim, you see what we're talking about. We're talking about turning, switching off, a lack of concentration. Thiago Silva turned away. He knew he'd made the mistake, and then you allow this Juventus team back. They never give up. We've said this before, Paul. They don't give up, and they've done it this evening again.
With 7 minutes to go, Matri from the substitutes bench pops up and strikes inside the box.
What a finish, wasn't it? Brilliant play. Pepe in space, grip ball played in, volley. That's what you want from your strikers. You've got the players I thought should have been on from the start of the game. Pepe, Matri, wonderful finish. Vidal almost getting in his way. And that's what we're talking about, Juventus. We're saying they never give up. There's still time to win this match as well, isn't there?
Interesting, the reaction from the Milan players. 3 of them dropped to their knees. They seem to have given everything they've got to give.
Well, they have tonight. They've battled Juventus as foot soldiers would in a battle, winning territory, winning the ball. They've done it all night. In the end, they've come up against a team that battle even more, and that is Juve. And as I said, defining moment of the title race. Who's going to take the psychological lift from this? I know it's not over yet, though.
A mistake by Mexes. Pepe caught by Ambrosini, but the referee points a finger at the Juventus player.
Good play there by the referee. Definite dive there from Pepe.
But also the goal coming after Milan had that counter-attack, 3 against 2. And Allegri was absolutely furious that his front men couldn't find their way in front of goal. Here's Abate. Robinho jinks inside Vucinic. Also Marchisio. Robinho. He's been a passenger in this second half. Plays a 1-2. He's walking it once again though. Nocerino rolls the ball back in for Robinho, who hadn't continued his run.
Well,
Van Bommel.
It runs so much there that it just run out of space.
Ball pumped into the box. Chiellini. The leader for Juventus in the second half.
Most definitely, and as we're saying, much more at home at the left back position.
Mexes caught in possession by Vucinic. Nocerino though wins the ball back on the Robinho. Up against Buffon.
Sprinting out there, Gigi, wasn't he? As soon as that ball was played there, and Vucinic really needed to keep possession. And the players, the nerves are starting to get to the players. Mexes giving the ball away. Vucinic got in the position, and he gives the ball away. A titanic battle. This is all the best that we're seeing in Serie A this year. There's commitment, there's skill, there's controversy, which we always get in Italian football, and the full house at the San Siro. What else could you ask for on a Saturday evening?
And the pace of the game has never abated, and once again, long ball putting pressure on Abate. Now the pace of El Shaarawy against Barzagli.
Well experienced there, Barzagli, wasn't it? He's just tracking back there. He's taken about 3 or 4 yards off the youngster, not allowing him to use his pace one-on-one with him.
Milan playing the ball quicker, trying to get their noses back in front.
Well, you can see now that Juve, they're settling for the draw. They're going to see this draw as a moral victory.
Crossing by Abate. Buffon, safe hands. No other side has drawn away as often as Juventus in the entire league. But as you'd say, they'd quite happily accept another.
Well, they would tonight. They got that 10-15 minutes where they really went for it. They put everything into the game and they were rewarded. Now they're sitting back, they're holding that back 4 line. The midfielders are stepping in as well, and all they're going to look for is maybe that long ball over the top for Vucinic and Matri.
Vucinic away from Van Bommel. Matri makes his run. Vucinic stays in possession. He's inside the box taking on Antonini. Still Vucinic. He doesn't get the corner.
Should have played the ball in. There's an opportunity to play the ball in behind the defence there for Matri to make the run. Wanted to go himself.
Chiellini. There's only going to be one winner against Robinho. Buffon. Lee Steiner hits away from Ambrosini.
Missed time there from Ambrosini. Just give the space, also it opens it up, allows Juve to keep possession.
Muntari back in, winning the ball away from Vidal. Van Bommel, he's been caught.
That's a terrible challenge. It's a red, that's a straight red. He lost the ball, he's lost 5 yards, he's let his team down. Mr. Conte will be very, very disappointed. That's the understatement, probably the year from me. And he made a terrible challenge. He's got to go.
The clash of the midfield warriors.
There's Robinho. Robinho acting like the head prefect. Send him to the headmaster's office.
The referee should have been involved before, though. Vidal is still not off the pitch. And the referee should have been across and told him, there's the 4th official now on the pitch. And Vidal trying to get away, as far away from Conte as he can.
I think so. Well, he can't escape Mr. Conte later on. But now, this may just give Milan a little lift in either, and there'll be plenty of time added on. What, 5 minutes?
2 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Milan 1, Juventus 1. Nocerino in the first half. Equaliser coming from Matri 5 minutes ago. No 1-2 off the referee.
Well, he's got involved a few times with a little 1-2s, the ref. But Milan can still afford to be patient. There is going to be plenty of time added on.
Abate. El Shaarawy, quick crossing. Juventus standing firm. Again Abate. Van Bommel. Robinho. He's been caught.
That's another. Pepe this time yellow card. Had to make that challenge, didn't he? Because Robinho was away from him.
He had to if he wanted to stop the Milan attack.
Exactly. And that's what he's there for. Different from the Vidal. It was Vidal's mistake. Then he paid for it.
4 minutes of time added on.
4. I thought it'd be 5, but 4.
It could be 5 by the time Robinho's back on his feet and the game is back.
Well, that's the minimum, isn't it? 4.
Well, we see another direct shot from Thiago Silva.
Well, he'll be thinking in the back of his mind, if he finds it back, then it'll make up for his mistake for the goal, which led to the goal. His header away, then his lack of concentration in the centre of defence afterwards. Hush around this San Siro.
Thiago Silva with a run-up, drives it once again into the wall. Van Bommel. Seems to panic, Van Bommel. Abate's cross towards the far post. The ball's inside the box and lost by Buffon. And then the goalkeeper recovers.
Well, it's excellent play there. It was a wonderful header back across. And maybe a bit of leaning on Lichtsteiner, but Buffon watched it as Muntari was coming in.
And they're good covering by Bonucci. Getting in between Muntari and his goalkeeper. Pirlo.
This is where you want Pirlo in the game. And he's tiring a bit, as everyone is.
Buffon just touches the ball away outside of his box.
And this is where Juve like to play. They'll keep the ball even at the back, as we were saying before, and then start creating a bit of space further up the pitch. But you can certainly see Juve now. They're going to say, well, this is a great draw we've got here, the way we've battled back. That's the way they're going to take it. Milan are going to say, well, we had the game in our hands, really. We had their chances, we didn't take them. But still a long way to go in the Championship. I think at the end of this, Juve definitely will feel a little bit more confident. Then they've got the game in hand as well. They're away at Bologna, who although have been in excellent form as well. Although now the players will go off on international duty. I'm sure it'll be they won't be asked to work too hard on international duty. And they'll come back next weekend and we'll start all over again.
With
the
Milan
battle for the top.
travelling down to one of their bogey teams, Palermo, away to Palermo. Has never been an easy match for Milan. Well, Juventus at home to Chievo. But we've still got a couple of minutes to go here. Stoppage time. The San Siro, 1-1, Milan and Juventus. Do we have another surprise? Van Bommel.
Plus we'll take into consideration that Juventus have already beaten Milan in the league as well. So if it comes down to the head-to-heads, Juve hold the advantage if we finish 1-1. And it seems the way the game is now going, and Mr. Allegri, the frustration showing on his face now.
40 seconds of stoppage time to go. Another important result for Juventus, who seem set to remain unbeaten. Quite an impressive run, the only unbeaten side in top European football. Abate's cross is a deep one, too deep.
Could be the last piece of action. The time Buffon gets the ball out. Well, Alex Del Piero on a personal front, it's a disappointing end to his career. Not getting a run out here at the San Siro, but the team comes first.
And the referee blows the final whistle. Milan won, Juventus won. The home side stronger in the first half. They took a narrow lead through Nocerino, but Juventus kept at it. They showed their determination and their willpower, and they drew level through the substitute Matri. And advantage Juventus, although they still sit a point behind Milan at the top of the league.
Well, certainly Juve tonight will feel that's a point that they've won. Milan, 2 points definitely dropped. So many talking points will be replays of them all. The players in the centre of the pitch having words. The discussions will continue. But the Juve players, as you said, Paul, will come away feeling that they've gained a valuable point this evening.
Well, that's all from Paul Visca.
And me, Richard Whittle.
Thank you very much for joining us here for a Serie A classic. Milan won, Juventus won.